look at this. Here's a thing to think about. Okay, if mixed people are different from black people, then how do they determine light skin for black people? Isn't that really weird? I mean, it is really weird, honestly, especially since a lot of, people from like the golden sphere and so forth will try and say light skin is defined by the parameters of the average colored mixed person, which would honestly be weird because it's like, well, isn't light skin supposed to be light for the particular group you come from? So, that's one side of it. Now, I'm just talking about the biracials for that matter. I don't understand. They'll say biracial is different, but then at the same time, they don't want black people to have a definition of light skin that doesn't have to do with them. It's like, how do you get your cake and eat it too? How do you become light skin for a black person when you say that biracial is different from black at the same time? You can't be both things. You're not a black person, you say, right? You're not you're not black, you're mixed. So then if you're mixed, then how are you going to compare yourself to black people's skin tones and say which one is light skin and which one is not? I mean, honestly, when white people do this, it's always odd to me because it's like, well, technically, you're not obviously light skin for a black person because you're not a black person, right? We say this to white people. They can't really say what's light skin as far as their own skin tone because they're not black. So they can't really define it. But biracials want like a foot in at least to determine what light skin is, as if they still want ownership over light-skinned black people. This is a big problem as to why black people who are, light-skinned can't have their own identity. It's always taken by somebody. Dark-skinned black people will take our identity, or biracials will take our identity. But it's always somebody trying to take our identity, And I feel like, honestly, both sides don't really like light-skinned black people being an entity of its own. They always want to take over one way or the other, That's just how I noticed that. I mean, like, if we were really talking about, mixed people and what's light skin for them, well, then why can't we talk about Haley Steinfeld? She is definitely light skin for a mixed person. So is, Halsey, for that matter. They're definitely light skin for mixed people. So, I mean, like, I think they should be going by that standard for themselves, but not really focusing on the standard for blackness when they're not black. Light-skinned black people are going to be different than light-skinned mixed people.